I am sure there are people out there that know this story. I know others don't. So I'm going to say this. On February 8, 2016, my little brother took his own life. Worst day of my life. It was horrible. There's nothing good to say about it. It was just awful. And so when I heard that Dak Prescott's brother also did the same thing, took his own life, I was moved inside because I'm not going to say I've been through what Dak Prescott's been through. Every situation is unique, but I've been through a similar loss in my life. My brother also took his own life. And then I learned that Dak Prescott said that he struggled with depression after his brother died. And that, Dak Prescott went and he got help. And so I want to be very, very, very clear. As the leader of his football team, as the or a, whether you want to say he's the leader or a leader, regardless, he's a leader on the Dallas Cowboys. As a leader, he did the right thing going and getting help. It's kind of weird to me that people are pushing back and saying anything other than that. Here's why. I've been through this before. When my little brother took his life, I was a mess, just a wreck and destroyed for a long time. And the responsible thing to do is to go get help. I was a mess for a year and a half when this went down. When I got help, it made it better. And you cannot help anybody else until you help yourself. If you're on a plane and the plane is going down, they tell you to put the air mask on yourself before you put it on anybody else, your kid or your friend or your sister, your girlfriend, whatever. Because if the air mask isn't on you and you go unconscious, you're not able to help anybody else around you. So again, I cannot say this enough. As a leader, Dak Prescott did the right thing. And the only responsible thing Dak Prescott could do was go get help. If you're struggling with a loss, if you're grieving, then you give off a certain energy. People may not be able to understand why things feel off, but the people around you, if you don't talk about what's going on, people will sense that something is off and something is wrong. And if people sense weird vibes about their leader and they don't know what's going on, that's bad leadership. If people can't understand what's going on, they sense something weird, that's really, really bad. Again, even if it's all subconscious, it's not good. And so if you hide stuff, that's bad leadership. So if you're struggling, if you're grieving, it's better to just address it, to own it, to talk about it, to say, yeah, I'm going through this thing. It's not fun. I'm dealing with it. That way the people around you are able to understand what you're going through and what's going on. It blows my mind. I saw some people criticize Dak Prescott for getting help when he's struggling with depression after his brother died. It's so wrong to criticize somebody for getting help after their brother dies. That's just ridiculous and nonsensical. And as somebody who's been through loss, I cannot encourage it enough. Go get help. Go get professional help. It makes a huge impact. I was very quietly, very privately concerned when I heard that Dak Prescott's brother had died. As someone who's been through my own brother dying, I thought to myself, and I didn't share this publicly because I didn't think it was appropriate, but it is now. I thought to myself, how can Dak Prescott handle being the Dallas Cowboys quarterback while he's struggling with grief and while he's struggling with loss? I thought it might derail his season. I went, this could be a gigantic distraction privately. Because when my brother committed suicide, I was a massive, massive mess. I was not good. And for a year and 6 months, a little over a year and a little longer than 6 months, I just was aimless and destructive, self-destructive, let me be clear, making bad decisions and doing bad stuff and just a nightmare. Because I buried how I was feeling. I buried that. I didn't go get help. And once I finally went to counseling and got help, I got back on track. That's actually when I started Strong Opinion Sports and started making a podcast. And I've been on a trajectory ever since that feels really good. And so I am really, really, really glad that Dak Prescott got help. Again, if you're struggling with grief or loss, go see a grief counselor. They're short term, and what they do is help you get through that moment, help you process the pain. You don't see them forever. You go to a grief counselor. They help you get through your grief, and then you get on with your life. So I got to say, honestly, in the long run, and we didn't see the results of this yesterday on Sunday night, but number one, as a leader, Dak Prescott gained a lot of depth and a lot of I think even an ability to relate to people around him as a leader. People as a leader go, "Oh, Dak's been through stuff. We have no problem going to talk to Dak. When Dak talks to you, you'll listen because he's been through some stuff." But unfortunately, that works as credibility as a leader. But I think Dak might be better once he gets through the pain of losing his brother. When you go through adversity, it's kind of like hitting a fork in the road where you run into this fork in the road where you can get better or you can get bitter and become a bitter person. And it's very easy for loss to make you bitter because loss is often unfair and unjust. And it's just unfortunate and awful. But adversity can also make you grow and help you get stronger as a person and as maybe a quarterback. And it's also true that when you see a counselor, all kinds of weird, unexpected stuff can come up. Things you had no idea you were struggling with. You're like, oh, I didn't know this thing hampered me and this thing was holding me back and this thing. And it's all helpful when you see a counselor. And it's very possible that Dak Prescott might actually be an even better quarterback long-term throughout the course of this year after going through the adversity and getting help because of it. Adversity can make you better. But again, I cannot say this enough. If there's one thing you hear from this topic, when Dak's brother died and he was struggling with depression, by owning it and by getting help, that was 100% the best thing and the right thing to do as a leader of a football team. Going and getting help, addressing it, owning it. I said earlier, it's good for the people around you to know what's going on in your life so they don't have weird energy and concerns and all this stuff. Dak did the right thing as a leader of his football team by going and getting help.